In this Platform Specialist's Anaplan Model Minute, we'll cover strategic workforce planning and management in just a few minutes or less. And really, the goal behind strategic workforce planning is to better enable HR to do things like hiring and skill planning, leveraging some of the planning processes that you're already doing within your finance organization. To build on that foundational topic, why do we even look at workforce planning in a strategic nature? First, just looking at the financial impact of workforce planning, taking your current group of employees and planning some short-term hires is just one piece of the puzzle. In addition to the financial impact and forecast, we should also be considering how general trends within the company are going to impact hiring. Do you have specific skills that you need to look for now and in the future? Your internal training plans, can you better the existing workforce to fill some of those longer term needs? And lastly, skill matching. Can you improve the alignment of some existing internal resources to fill gaps rather than hire externally? Overall, the process of hiring and enabling HR is generally time consuming, especially to bring on new people. So to connect it to your operational and financial plans brings a better ROI for the entire organization. Just a quick plug, this strategic planning workforce model is included in the Platform Specialist Connected Planning Finance Pack. It's a cohesive set of applications that allow you to enable your extended finance team. So getting right into the Model Minute, we're going to cover 3 problems that we're going to get solved with this Anaplan solution. The first we're going to dive into right now is getting a strategic insight into company-wide hiring and skill needs. So rather than just hiring for one specific role, we're going to take a step back and really understand what's going on at large in the organization. So I've pulled up my strategic workforce planning application, and I'm going to be doing a deep dive into a particular role that I need to fill within my department, the operations department, a manager of operations. But rather than just look at that role in a silo, I also want to understand some of the common trends across the operations division from a skill needs and hiring perspective, as well as the company at large. And that's going to give me that better ROI on my time and the company's time. First, you can see some information coming in from our financial workforce plan. There are 21 FTEs in this department, 16 open heads, and that's quite a large number of open positions, likely driven by my above average churn rate here of about 40%. I can dive a little bit deeper for that manager of operations to get an understanding of how the churn rate looks for that position. And I know immediately that this position has relatively high churn, and I'm going to need to continue to keep a steady pipeline of candidates that might be able to fill that position. Towards the right here, I can see some of the top in-demand skills within my operations department, and you can see that undergraduate engineering degree is just highly sought after, not only in my operations department, but if I scroll up here, for the entire operations division. So while a candidate that I'm interviewing for my manager role might not be the greatest fit for that position, some of the common skills that they possess may be applicable to other roles within the organization. As I scroll down a bit more, I'm going to click on my manager of operations role, and I can see some of the skills that are needed for that particular role. Undergraduate degree in engineering, some technical skills in the Anaplan platform, public speaking, and delegation skills are really the most sought after to fill that position. I can also take an even broader step back and look at the common year-over-year growth trends by broad skills like education, technology, and soft skills, as well as a deeper dive on, in this case, within that technology skill group, some of the high growth areas. And again, we're seeing an uptick in needs for SQL, Python, Anaplan, and R. And that broader context allows me to understand if someone could be a good fit elsewhere in the organization. The next problem we're going to solve is getting better at being proactive about planning our workforce rather than reactive. In addition to those existing headcount and skill needs, which have largely been the product of shorter term conversations with my financial team, I'm also tapped into the strategic initiatives across the company, which are led by our strategic planning team. A number of those strategic initiatives have already been approved, and the hiring impacts of those initiatives are already factored into my plan. But I want to go a little bit more proactive and look at how my hiring changes as some of those strategic initiatives are approved and move forward. One in particular is an effort to decrease price of one of our core products by 5%. I know that's getting steam within the organization as far as a likely candidate to be approved. So I want to activate that initiative. I can see that now I have an additional 3 heads that are going to be factored into my long-term hiring plan. And as I scroll down, I can see there's a decent chunk of operations needs in order to meet that decreased price by 5%. So rather than wait on that initiative to be approved, I want to have it in mind as I start my hiring plan for the upcoming years. The last thing we want to cover off on is making sure that our planning that we've done in our HR team is connected to the rest of the organization. We've started to recognize that vision of connected planning by first pulling in some information from our finance team, specifically the existing roster of employees in our department, as well as some short-term to-be hireds. Then we layered in some strategic upcoming initiatives and the skills and positions needed to fill those. And now we want to bring it full circle and recognize that full vision of connected planning by completing our HR planning processes. So first and foremost, I want to dive a little bit deeper into that one initiative, decrease price by 5%. I have an open manager role that I know I'm going to need to hire for that. And rather than look externally, I want to understand if anyone internally is a good talent match. What this Anaplan model enables us to do is look at the current set of employees and understand who might be a good fit to fill that role in the future. At a quick glance here, I can see that Alexandra Grossman is a good match from a talent and skill perspective. So I want to do a little bit deeper of a dive on her. She seems to have a lot of the experience that we're looking for to fill that role. So I want to go ahead and notify the hiring team to take a look at her and let her know that she may be a good fit and to check out the open position. Now that our plan is well connected to all the other departments in the organization, I want to make sure that my final hiring needs are going to be met by the internal team that I have dedicated to those. So historically, we've had 2 recruiters in our department, and it's been taking about 6 months to close a candidate from start to finish. And historically, we've had each recruiter handling about 15 candidates at any given point in time. Because I really want the recruiting team to focus more on understanding where individual candidates can be a good fit elsewhere in the organization, the more long-term view, I'm going to reduce that to 10, give them a little bit more time, and I know that I'm justified in bringing one more person onto my team to make sure that we're able to meet those external needs and give those candidates the time that they deserve. That concludes our strategic workforce and HR planning model minute. In just a few short minutes here, we've shown why it's important to bring teams like HR into your long-term connected company plan.